Good evening. I am Brother Victor, a Franciscan missionary brother from India. This weekend I am visiting your parish as part of the Missionary Cooperative Program, or we call it Mission Appeal, where a missionary comes and preaches. And I will be speaking at all the masses this weekend, requesting you to prayerfully consider supporting the Franciscan ministries worldwide. I belong to a congregation of religious brothers which originated in India in 1901 by a missionary who came all the way from Germany to India. It does mission works in India, Sri Lanka, African and South American countries. The primary mission of the Franciscan communities world over is to work with the non-Christians and trying to bring them to the Catholic faith and trying to build viable Catholic communities worldwide. I am a missionary for the last 35 years. I joined this missionary community when I was a 16-year-old kid. Now you can compute my age. You would get it correctly. This evening, I want to share with you two stories. One, my own personal experience in the mission that will give you an idea of what Franciscan missionary brothers do world over. And the second story will give you an idea about what kind of circumstances in which the missionaries walk. It was in the year 1988, I completed my initial studies and formation in the congregation for 6 years and waiting for my first assignment in the mission. One afternoon, I get a letter from my provincial assigning me to a new mission in one of the states in the South Indian missions. And it was a new mission where 3 brothers were assigned to that mission. Guess what? I was the youngest one in the community there. And we had no Christians present at all in the mission which was assigned to us. So every day we wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we have our community prayer and community meditation and participate in the Holy Eucharist, take a quick breakfast, pack a little bit of lunch, and 3 brothers to 3 different villages. Every day we visit. When we go to the villages, we visit every family, though they are non-Christians. We listen to their stories, we share the gospel, the lives of the saints and the life of Jesus, and pray with them and come back home in the evening. This is what we were doing day in and day out. After a year, I get another letter from the provincial, this time asking me to go to the city for my higher studies. So I went to the city and I didn't hear anything more about that mission until after 3 years. I get another opportunity to visit that mission, this time to replace a brother who wanted to go for a vacation. So when I went, I began to hear the stories, what was happening in the missions. I was told in a span of 3 years, 750 families embraced Catholic faith. Can you imagine? From 0 to 750 families becoming Catholics. A couple of years later, the nuns came in and they started a school. And today, every child in that mission gets Catholic education. And few years later, the brothers handed the mission over to the diocese. And the diocese sent the priests and it became a parish. And today it is one of the vibrant parishes in the diocese. And once the priests came, the brothers moved to new missions. And this is what the Franciscan missionary brothers do world over. And the second story was last year we had a meeting of missionaries working in different parts of the world. One of the missionaries working in the northern part of India narrated a story. He told of a boy of 8 or 9 years old who visited his mission one afternoon. And this little boy asked the missionary, "Brother, have you got anything for me to eat?" The boy was obviously hungry. The missionary knew that child by name. His name was David because that was a very small mission. And the missionary asked him, David, didn't you have anything to eat today? You know what that little child replied? I would never ever forget. This little child told him in his own language, with due respect, Brother, my dad told me, today is not my day to eat. My sisters and brothers, in the home of that little child, the father, the mother, and his siblings were taking a turn to eat because his parents couldn't put sufficient food on the table so that all of them could eat together as we normally do in our families. My sisters and brothers, this is not an isolated story or incident that I am sharing with you this evening. This is the story of over 1 billion people in the world. And in such situations, the church is at work. The missionaries are at work. Trying to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick, and all the corporal works of mercy are being done by the church and the missionaries world over. As we prepare to celebrate this Holy Eucharist, we have a beautiful opportunity to touch the life of a child like David and many more other children and families world over. Today there will be a second collection that is exclusively for the missions. I request you to be generous and kind. And if you are not prepared to donate today, don't worry about it. Go home. When you get some free time, bring your donation to the parish office. The collection taken this weekend would be kept at the parish office for a couple of weeks. Later it will be sent to the diocese, and the diocese in turn will send it to our congregational headquarters, from where it will be distributed. And trust me, your money is safe. I wouldn't get a chance to touch that money. And if you are making a check, please make the check in the name of the parish. And at the bottom, put a memo, Franciscan Missions or simply Missions, and put it in the second collection. Tonight or tomorrow, perhaps you might go for a dinner, and I know a good dinner would cost not less than $20 or $25 here. In the name of our people in the mission, I ask you, please give us one dinner in a year. It may not be much here, but when they are collected and put together, it will be able to help us to help the child like David and many more other children and families to come out of poverty and hunger and to share the gospel with very many non-Christian families. I want to thank you and the people of America for your generosity. The people of America are immensely generous. I studied in a missionary school, and the nuns came from Spain. And when we used to go to the school, they gave us a meal in the afternoon. You know where that meal came from? The meal came from this country. I'm talking about early 70s, through the organization CRS, which is existing even today, Catholic Relief Service. Even after eating that meal, I have not grown taller. Imagine if we were not to eat that meal. Folks, I tell you, that kind of generosity I'm talking about. You folks are immensely generous. Continue to support the church. Continue to support the missionaries. I, on my part, thank you and pray for you and for your families. May God bless you and your families. Thank you.